Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Papadopoulos. I'm the founding director of the Institute of Holistic Nutrition, and it is my honor and joy to welcome two of our graduates here today. We have Breanna Queen and Rita Savoia. They will be presenting a very powerful experiential breathwork session with all of you here today. They will explore why breathwork is gaining so much attention and how it can be applied both personally and professionally in the environment, within your work, within your personal lives. This webinar will be interactive. It will offer clear insights into how breathwork supports, regulates, affects our focus, emotional well-being, along with how to integrate it into your work with your clients. So let us welcome Rita and Breanna.
Yay.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our presentation today. We are going to be talking about both of our favorite topics, and that is breathwork. And like Elizabeth shared, we are both really big on experiential learning. So as we go through this presentation today, we invite you to notice your breath. Notice if you're breathing, notice if you're holding, notice if your breath moves easily, if it feels restricted. But before we go any further, let's pause, let's feel it, let's tap in, and let's ground ourselves in this moment so that we are fully present. All of our attention is here and now. So it feels good. I'll invite you to close down your eyes and just beginning to place your feet flat on the floor. Feel your bum in your chair. And notice how your body is breathing in this moment. Notice how breath is moving through you right now. And then we're going to take a few deep breaths together to pull all of our focus to this moment. Breathing in through your nose, filling up your belly, and letting go through your mouth, letting your shoulders drop down. Breathing in through your nose, into your belly. Breathing out through your mouth, feeling your bum getting heavier in your seat. And one more time, breathing in into your belly. And when you get all the way to the top of that breath, I invite you to hold it here, pausing for a moment, feel a little bit of expansion, a little bit of opening, and then full exhale out through your mouth. Letting everything go. Gently bringing yourself back to our space, opening your eyes. Beautiful. This is breathwork. Well, there are many different styles, types, and ways of breathing, anything from shamanic breathwork to holotropic breathwork to box breathing or yoga breathwork. There are an infinite ways you can tune into your breath, but all of it is essentially conscious breathing. You choosing to tune into your breath in a conscious way is what breathwork is. Today, you're going to learn why breathwork is so trendy, how you can start using it both personally and professionally. And with me today, my fellow co-host is Rita Savoia, and she is on a mission to make well-being practical for high-performing humans. As a certified holistic nutritionist, trauma-informed breathwork facilitator, coach, educator, and workplace well-being consultant, she helps leaders shift from burnout and survival mode into calm, clarity, and sustainable performance. Her work is rooted in her own recovery journey, so it's grounded, real, and deeply effective. Through functional breathing assessments, experiential workshops, and integrative self-care practices, Rita equips clients with simple evidence-based tools to regulate the nervous system and thrive in the boardroom, at home, and everywhere in between. Rita, thank you for being here with me today. As someone who has been practicing this for years, why do you feel like breathwork is so important?
Well, thank you for that grounding, by the way. I needed it as well. So it was perfect. So we can go weeks without food. Can you agree? A few days without water, but only a few minutes without breath. And this is why what most people don't realize is that breath isn't just for our own survival. It's actually a remote control for your nervous system. So it's important because breathing is one system in the body that's automatic, yet you can control it on purpose. And that's what makes it so incredibly powerful. And that's what I've seen with my own personal healing journey, my family, and my clients. So when you change your breathing, you literally change your physiology, right? And even those few moments that we just started with, I'm sure some of us, or maybe most of us, felt that shift, that change, right? Because it affects every single cell, tissue, muscle, organ, and organ system by influencing the oxygen delivery, circulation, pH balance, immunity, and of course the nervous system, right? It's the fastest way that we can actually shift from stress into regulation, because your breath is constantly sending signals to your brain about whether or not you're safe or under threat, right? So on a deeper level, I also like to mention that breath work is so important because it is the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And, we can think our way into a calm state, but we can use the breath to actually get us there faster because the body believes the breath more. So that's why it's important. It's simple, it's accessible, and it changes everything from the inside out. And I like to give this little metaphor. Consider your breath like a thermostat, right? It's not the thermometer. It's actually the thermometer tells your body that you're stressed, but the breath can actually change the temperature in the room. So when you change the temperature, everything else changes, right? Your mind, your heart, your muscles, your mood, right? And they start to recalibrate around it. So yeah, short answer, I guess, why I find it so amazing, fascinating.
I love that. I love the thermometer. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And so today with me, and I have the pleasure of working with you on this amazing presentation, is Breanna. And she's also on a mission to help stressed, burnt out people get their energy and their life back. So as a certified holistic nutritionist, trauma-informed breathwork facilitator, and somatic coach, she supports clients in addressing root causes, regulating the nervous system, and rebuilding health from the inside out. Her work is inspired by her own healing journey as well, which makes her approach both grounded and deeply relatable. So through a root cause nutrition, live blood analysis, assessments, and transformational breathwork, Breanna teaches people how to work with their bodies to create lasting well-being and step into their strongest, most vibrant selves. So Breanna, let me ask you this. Why do you believe breathwork is so trending these days?
Uh, Honestly, I feel like it's because now more than ever, we need it. And I don't know if it's just post-COVID. I don't know if it has been this way for so long, but our bodies are just getting to the place where they can't handle the fast pace of our world. But so many people are living in a fight or flight nervous system state. We're anxious, we're stressed out so often, and we need something to get us out of that place. For me, I was doing all of the things, healthy eating, exercise, detoxing, but my health wasn't getting better. No amount of talk therapy or tapping was helping my body to get out of that stressed out place, out of the trauma response, and into a place where my body could actually heal. Breathwork is a tool that we have every moment, every day, no matter where you are. We can use it in so many different ways to take us from a heightened state, a heightened nervous system place, to that place where we are more settled in our bodies and where our bodies can heal. I also believe that research is starting to catch up with all of this information, this wisdom, and starting to prove how impactful it really is. So, why do we want to be doing breath work? Why should we be interested in this topic today? Well, based on what you heard from just both of us, there are some pretty incredible ways that breathwork supports us. And while Rita and I are different in terms of our modalities of breathwork, we both agree that we all need it. Breathwork is a flexible and accessible tool. You can use it in so many different ways, and you're going to get to experience a few of those here today. And no matter what, you have access to it. Pause right here. Take a breath. You can tune into this no matter where you are. Breathwork also gives us this profound ability to create stress resiliency in our bodies, which is not only super helpful for trauma recovery, but also in the day-to-day stressors when our world is becoming too much for our nervous systems to handle. Breath gives us this superpower, this way of regulating our systems or getting ourselves back to a place where we can be in optimal health and well-being and help to support us long-term, giving us longevity. But before we get too far into breathwork, what it is and why we're so excited about it, Rita, will you take us through a modality of testing to see if we are breathing correctly?
I will. And this is probably the only time during a presentation I will invite you to perhaps pull out your phone. We just need you to bring up your stopwatch, or maybe you can look at your, there's something on your computer, or you can do it the old fashioned way, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So we need to count seconds. So we're going to do the BOLT assessment, and it stands for the body oxygen level test, popularized by my mentor, Patrick McEwen from the Oxygen Advantage. So he does a lot of stuff on functional breathing. And this actual test is a version of the control pause, which Buteyko, so if you know the Buteyko method, he helped cure himself from asthma, and also helped a bunch of patients with respiratory issues and problems reverse it with the power of breathing techniques. So this is a simple breath hold test that actually estimates your breathing efficiency and tolerance for carbon dioxide. So how quickly your body feels the urge to breathe. So it's not about how long you can force a hold. So it's no competition. Let's leave our egos behind us, right? It's about actually that first definite urge to breathe, how to capture it. So how we're going to do this. So there is a visual. I'm going to also walk you through it. We're going to sit calmly and breathe normally through the nose. So whatever normal is to you, we're going to do this 3 times. After the 3rd normal exhale, we're going to actually pinch our nose and start the timer, right? Or start counting the seconds in terms of how long you hold that breath hold at the bottom of the exhale. Once you get that first definite urge to breathe, which we call air hunger, you stop the timer at that, and then we will actually go through the results together. So remember that we want to actually resume the calm nasal breathing. So we shouldn't be gasping for air. All right, so who's ready to go? Let's do this. So again, sit calmly. Let's breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, preferably, or slowly through the mouth. Second time in and out. Third time in. So this, when you exhale fully, pinch your nose and then start the timer to see how many seconds you can hold your breath. And then stop the timer at the first sign of air hunger, so that desire to breathe, and then resume your breath as you normally would. And just keep an eye on how many seconds you can hold the breath. So I'll use Breanna as my model here when she's done. We'll resume in terms of what this means, what this body oxygen level test can actually tell us about our breathing. Okay, so if you want to share in the chat what your score was, not mandatory. If you want to, that's great. Breanna, if you want to share with us what your score was, reference point.
I didn't pull out my thing, but usually I'm around like 25 to 30 seconds.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So yes, so what does a score generally mean? It's more like a reference point than a score. I'd like to actually say that. So a commonly cited ideal, so this is actually based on research, a healthy adult target is actually around more than 25 for sure. So more than 25, but we want to actually aim for 30 to 40. So many people starting out, and this was me as well. I mean, I'm a yogi doing a little bit of pranayama, not as much as I do now. But when I first took this test, I was in the high teens and I was like, I'm not breathing as properly as I should be. And so why do we actually use it? We use it as a baseline. So I use this with my clients as a baseline. So then when we actually engage in healthy breathing habits, we can see the shift, right? And it's beautiful because it does happen over obviously habitual, proper functional breathing, what we call functional breathing habits that you can do on a daily basis. So if your Bolt score was under 25 seconds, what this means is that you have low CO2 tolerance. And generally, you're overbreathing, which can actually reduce oxygen delivery and keep that nervous system stuck in that alert mode, contributing to poor breathing habits. So, what does that mean exactly? What are these poor breathing habits? It's actually, here are some breath clues in terms of what you do. And these are visible breathing habits we do that actually weaken our airways and cause poor lung function over time, usually due to mouth breathing. And when we mouth breathe, we overbreathe, which causes all of these fast, shallow chest, upper body, noisy, irregular. There's sort of no rhythm to your breath. There's no that natural pause at the end of your exhale, the short forced exhales, and lots of sighs, yawns. Who knows a lot of people that do this, right? And breath holding. So there is this phenomenon now called email apnea, and I am guilty of it too. And I know this stuff, right? But I'm a lot more conscious now and a lot more aware. When I'm checking my emails for a very important email, which they all seem to be very important, I tend to hold my breath. And this is where I'm telling my clients, be aware of that and let go of that breath hold. Because breath hold, when you do it habitually, it is bad news, right? We want to stay away from that. Then there's body clues, right? So what does your body look like when we're actually breathing improperly, right? So it's actually how stress shows up in the body and as well as the face. So in the body, this hunched posture, because we're not using our diaphragm properly, and that supports the posture as well. Tense shoulders and neck could be due to improper breathing. Lower back pain, 25% of lower back pain can actually be attributed to improper breathing. And when was the last time your doctor asked you, how is your breathing, right? Or that rib tightness, that tapping, twitching, or fidgeting, that restless body can also be due to overbreathing. And this was mind-blowing when I started doing the research on this. It can actually contribute to dental issues. Why? Mouth breathing dries the mouth, right? So there's less saliva and more plaque, because saliva is actually your body's natural mouth cleaner, and it helps to wash away that bacteria to protect your teeth. So less saliva, more bacteria, more plaque, so a higher risk of cavities and gum issues, right? And especially in children, adolescent children or younger kids, mouth breathing can actually change the tongue and jaw position, which may affect facial growth, facial development, more flatter sort of faces. But the good news is we can actually reverse that. And oftentimes, I actually know a few clients that their kids didn't need braces because they switched from being a mouth breather to a nasal breather. The last one I would like to share with you in terms of how this looks. How do you feel when you're improperly breathing, right? So this is how it affects your day to day. Of course, you're not getting that oxygen into your cells. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel that fatigue, right? The stress, anxiety, depression, mood is going to also be affected. So interestingly, about 85% of people with depression and anxiety have some sort of dysfunctional breathing going on. So we can maybe help that a lot, actually, not maybe, we can help if we teach them how to properly breathe, right? Poor focus, concentration, and memory, of course, that lack of oxygen in the brain. And we're going to actually give you a technique to help you with that. And the sleep will get affected, right? Snoring, sleep apnea, frequent nighttime urination. This one was like, wow, why is this happening? Well, overbreathing can actually keep your body in that stress state, disrupt that CO2 balance, which can actually increase that fight or flight, that sympathetic drive, and make your kidneys produce more urine. So you feel like you need to pee more often, right? Cold hands and feet can be attributed to overbreathing, as well as lightheadedness, and then that air hunger, which is that constant urge that you need to take that deeper breath, right? So again, just a quick summary, if you're under 25, it just means that you may be over breathing, and your nervous system is also stuck in this sort of alert mode. But we can change all that, and you can actually unlearn and relearn how to properly breathe by doing these things. So again, my mentor, Patrick McEwen, actually has come up with this acronym LSD and N. So we want to breathe. This is the proper way of breathing. We want to breathe light. We want to breathe slow. We want to breathe deep and through the nose. So nasal breathing, well, I like to say that mouth breathing is as well. When we mouth breathe, it's actually very ridiculous because it's not meant for breathing, right? It's just like eating through the nose. The nose is not meant to be eating through, right? And neither is the mouth. We actually want to breathe as much as possible through the nose because it is made for breathing. It is not, many of us like our nose, but it's such a beautiful, intricate system. It filters the air, moistens the air, prepares it, humidifies it, right? When we nasal breathe, we produce nitric oxide that actually helps with immunity. It's an antibacterial. It's a vasodilator, so opening up the capillaries to send that fresh oxygenated blood into the cells, and it allows us to breathe light, to breathe slow. So we actually want to breathe about 6 breaths per minute, right? Just to really extend that breath as much as possible. And when we say deep, we don't mean that. No, again, we're blowing off too much CO2, right? Carbon dioxide. We actually want to breathe deep using the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is this beautiful muscle, one of the largest muscles we have for breathing. It actually helps with posture, of course, right? It helps you with posture as well as it helps you move the lymph. So if you and massage your internal organs, it does so many beautiful things. And so breathing deep with the diaphragm and nasal breathing can actually help to engage that diaphragmatic breath as well. So I know you may have some questions about the bold test. We'll save those till the end, but we're going to go into more practical. How can we use breath work in your daily life? So we will, Breanna, if you want to go ahead and take the stage and help us with an anxiety technique, breath work for anxiety. What can we do for that?
So, first of all, how many of you either experience anxiety, have experienced anxiety, or know someone or have clients that experience anxiety? It seems like all over the place, everyone is anxious, nervous systems are at an all-time high, and breathwork is one of the best things that can help us to take us from that anxious place to a more regulated state. Without needing to go anywhere, without needing to pull on anything, we have this inside of us. But one of the things that people do, not wrong, but maybe there is just a slightly better way for us to do it, is that when we're in that anxious place, people will be like, okay, just slow down, just calm down, just relax. But what happens is when we're in that high nervous system state, when anxiety is present, all of those stress hormones are flooded into our body. And when they are flooded, they need to mobilize, they need to clear out. They are preset to get us to run away from the tiger that is chasing us. So in order to relax, in order to bring ourselves out of that anxious place, we need to do a 2-step breathing process. Now, like Rita said, we want to be breathing through the nose 99.99% of the time. But when it comes to deeper breathwork experiences and using the breath in an intentional way, mouth breathing, breathing in and out through the mouth, can help us to release more air and clear more energy and emotions from the body. So in this experience, this is a process that you can use when you feel anxious, when you have clients who feel anxious, and it goes in 2 steps. So step 1, we're going to use an active breath, and we're going to do this breath all through the mouth. So you guys are going to get to join us for this experience. We're going to use the first breath into the belly, second breath into the chest, and then we'll clear out through the mouth. So it'll be belly, chest, release. So we're going to use that breath as step 1 to actively clear out. And then we come into that place of relaxation. Then we can shift the nervous system. Once we move those stress hormones out, clear that anxious feeling out, then we can come back into a regulated state. And the best way to do this is through the nose, breathing into the belly, and having long, deep exhales. Those are 3 of the most powerful ways that we can turn on our parasympathetic or resting nervous system state. So if it feels good and you want to join us for this, I invite you to just sit comfortably in your chair. Close down your eyes if it feels good. We're going to start with our active breath. So just dropping your jaw, exhaling out any air that's in your lungs. And breathe your first breath into your belly, then your chest, then out through your mouth. Belly, chest, and release. Belly, chest, and release. Finding a bit of a flow with that here for a few moments. There you go. And as you move the breath, you can start to move your body if it feels good, maybe moving your shoulders, wiggling your belly and your hips. Clearing out any anxieties that might be present. One more breath. Let it go. And then we're going to come and breathe through the nose, breathing in and out through your nostrils. Pull that breath into your belly as you breathe in through your nose. Maybe placing a hand on your belly if that helps you. And then extending your exhale out as long as possible. So breathing in through your nose, into your belly. And letting go through your nose. Letting all of that air release. One more time, in through your nose, into your belly. And full exhale out through your nose, letting every inch of it go. Beautiful. And then if you closed your eyes, just gently bringing yourself back, returning to your natural breath, and taking a moment to notice how you feel now. Notice if you felt any tingles or sensations. Any moment that you're feeling that anxious, and you're like, I really just need to feel this 2-step process, active breath release, and then a relaxation breath can help you to take you from that sympathetic, clear out those stress hormones, and bring you back into a place of rest and relaxation. Beautiful. All right, how about scenario number 2?
Yes, thank you, Breanna. That was awesome. I love these techniques because they can be used online and offline, right? So in the moment, you can definitely use this as well. The box breathing that I'm going to explain as well. But you can also practice these offline so that when that stressful situation does come on, your body will remember it. Hey, I have tools here. I've done this before. I've been here before. And it's just so wonderful that you can do this. So box breathing. So this is a very popular one. But I decided to add it anyway because it is a very, very powerful one as well. So we're going to basically, and by the way, the US Navy SEALs use box breathing to prepare before they go into combat. The sniper as well. So, I mean, if it's good enough for them, I think it's good enough for us too, right? But I do use it for focus and concentration. So what we're going to be doing actually is just drawing an imaginary, and if you're watching me here, drawing an imaginary box with our breath. So with our inhales, our holds, exhales, and holds. So we're going to start with a 4, 4, 4, 4. So all of the equal sides of the box are going to be 4 counts. But if this is too much, you can start with 3, you can start with 2, whatever works for you. And if this is too easy, you can also increase to 6 or 8 as well. So up to you. And that's what I love about the breath. You can always sort of step up a bit if this is a little too easy for you. It's just great play around with what works for you. And sometimes for me, and also for some of my clients, it really depends on the day. Sometimes they can't do the 4, 4, 4. I'd rather do 3, which is fine. Or sometimes they feel really good, really energized, and they move to the 6 or the 8. So really feel into your body and what your body's asking for as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually start with a controlled inhale for 4 counts, and then a gentle hold for 4, exhaling for 4, and then pausing for 4. So let's start that together. We'll do one cleansing breath. So in through the nose just to prepare. And then let's begin. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. One more. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Take a couple of moments just to sort of check in. How are you feeling? Again, there could be some physical sensations as well as any mental. Maybe you're feeling more relaxed, you're feeling more focused. So it's a really good one. And I love to actually invite you, if you want to share this with your kids, this is great before a test, before an exam, before a job interview. So share it with your colleagues, your neighbors. These techniques are really, really practical. So the next technique is for digestion. How appropriate for IHN students and alumni, right? So this is sort of a pre-meal long exhale. So very similar to what Breanna showed us as well, and nasal breathing. So we want to try as much as possible to do this through the nose. But again, if you have a cold, if there's, something that maybe sinus issues or obstruction in the nasal cavity, then yes, you can definitely try to use the inhales for the nose and maybe the exhale through the mouth with a gentle sigh. But if you can, then definitely we can do it through the nose, the entire breathing technique. So we usually recommend 1 to 2 minutes before eating and maybe between bites as well, right? So that we can really signal to the parasympathetic nervous system. So that rest and digest, right? As well as stimulating the vagus nerve that it's safe to eat now. It's safe to digest the food, right? So of course, eating in good company always helps. I love how in one of the blue zones in Ikaria, which is in Greece, they don't ask you what you're having for dinner. They ask you, who are you having dinner with? Because that's important as well, because that person in front of you can raise those stress hormones. So it's important who you're eating with, but also how you eat, right? So we want to actually sit tall with our shoulders relaxed, our lips closed. As I mentioned, you do have options here for sure. And then we're going to inhale through the nose for 4 counts. And then gently using obviously the belly, and which is the diaphragm really. And then exhale through the nose for 6. So I recommend starting the 4-6 breath. But again, if you're feeling really confident, it's like, oh, I can actually exhale for longer, then you can do 8 seconds. And if that seems a little tough, we can actually just pretend you're blowing out your birthday candles, or you can S the exhales as well. So let's try 1 round. So in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you kind of want to do a couple of these right before your meal. And as I mentioned, in between meals as well. When we're actually eating, you can practice this rhythm. Exhale and then take your bite. Chew, swallow, a gentle inhale, and then repeat. So we kind of want to keep this rhythm when we're digesting. And of course, you can share this with your clients as well to help optimize digestion, to reduce that gulping of air or bloating, because a lot of us are really rushed when we're eating, and also to just calm that stress chemistry that Breanna talked about as well. And just because the stress will actually shut down the digestive system, right? So hopefully that is something that you can take in to yourself. And if you want to add a little note of gratitude for whoever prepared the meal for you, even if it was for yourself, or if go back to, I know I used to do this, grace before meals, or any prayer that you used to do before actually eating can actually just help to signal the parasympathetic nervous system that you are ready to digest that delicious, nutritious meal. So, into our professional practice, Breanna, do you want to take this away in terms of how it can help enhance client outcomes?
Yes. So far today we have talked a lot about personal breathwork and how important it is for us. You've had some pretty cool practical examples that hopefully you will take with you. And all of this you can share with clients. But we really wanted to emphasize the importance of how does breathwork relate to your practice as a nutritionist. Now, the first thing is that it helps you become a more regulated practitioner. You can approach client sessions from a more clear, calm, conscious way, and it can help to support your client outcomes. So, for whatever they're coming to see you with, whether it's gut issues, hormone imbalances, stress, nervous system, your stress, your nervous system is part of the picture. The nervous system's impacting whether your clients can follow a protocol, whether then they can digest their food. If we're in that fight or flight place, that shuts off digestion, meaning no matter how many healthy nutrients, how many good quality foods or supplements you're putting them on, their body can't digest it, can't absorb it. And long term, if it hasn't already, that's going to cause gut issues. No matter how many gut healing protocols we do, their body's not going to be able to heal. This fight or flight state is also impacting the immune system. It's impacting the entire endocrine system. And most importantly, which was my biggest thing, and I see it all the time, it impacts the body's ability to heal itself. When we're stuck in survival mode, protocols won't work. When we're stuck in survival mode, protocols won't work. And it's not because your protocols aren't good, but because the client doesn't A, have the capacity to follow them, and B, their body isn't in that state to heal. But through breath work, they can learn how to shift their nervous systems in an instant, and with continual practice, begin to live from this more parasympathetic state more often. We don't want to be stuck in this place of survival all of the time. And we have some proof. Rita, if you will put us onto the next slide. This is how effective breath work really is. So in my practice, I do breath work and I also do holistic nutrition assessments using live blood analysis. And we put breath work to the test. In just 15 minutes, this person's blood went from a place of dis-ease, from a place that is promoting unwell-being in their bodies, to a place of health and vitality. Just 15 minutes of consciously breathing, they completely change the state that their cells in their body are functioning. Now, I'm a big promoter that the more breath work, the better in most situations. And for a lot of people, 15 minutes is still a little bit too overwhelming. So I say 5 minutes a day is where we get to start. 5 minutes a day, we can choose to consciously shift that nervous system. You, your clients, everyone has 5 minutes where we can shift this state, get the body into a slightly more balanced place so that our health can start to improve from the inside out. 5 minutes a day is a fantastic way to begin. And for some people who are really stuck in that fight or flight place, where your protocols just aren't working, where nothing is shifting, where nothing is budging, they probably need deeper support. And this is where one-to-one sessions come in. One-to-one sessions create a personalized and safe environment for people to, yes, learn how to breathe, like we talked about today, learn how to properly breathe so their bodies can be in a more optimal way, and how to shift their nervous systems, how to regulate their bodies, how to get out of fight or flight and stress mode and being in there all the time. Teaching their bodies how to shift so they can come into that resting state, so they can heal and more easily come into good health. One-to-one sessions also offer deeper emotional and trauma recovery support. So for people who have been doing the therapy, doing the deep work, and it's just not fully working, that is when we go into the soma, into the body, to release possibly the old traumas, the old emotions, the old things that are sitting in our systems, just waiting to be shifted.
Yes, I love that. And that's exactly what I'm doing with a psychotherapy clinic. I'm doing integration coaching, breathwork coaching for sustainable behavioral change. So they're doing the psychotherapists are doing the talk therapy, and I'm going in there as a somatic release to with using the breath. So really, really exciting stuff, how to use the breath in these scenarios. And then there's also group breathwork sessions, right? So why is this important? Why is this working? So these are shared energy and deeper motivation. So breathing together helps people commit, stay with the practice, and go further. So I have clients that love the group work stuff. And I also have clients that love more the one-on-one. So it really depends on your client. Connection and belonging. So the group experience reduces isolation. If you're a bit skeptic about maybe breathing, right, and creates these sort of Me Too moments that feel supportive and healing as well. So team cohesion and psychological safety. It increases that because the group builds trust, right, through a shared experience and improves empathy, communication, and collaboration afterward as well. And collective regulation, right? Because calmness is contagious, right? So when a room settles into slow, rhythmic breathing, it becomes easier for each person's nervous system to actually downshift as well. And from a workplace wellness, I use these as team building or team bonding events. And group breath work actually gives teams a shared nervous system reset, reduces stress, and actually builds trust, communication, collaboration on a whole different level. So I've seen some amazing results using group breathwork sessions in a workplace wellness setting.
So, if you only take one little tidbit from today, all the information we gave you, and you only take one thing, is that you have this tool inside of you right now. Every moment of every day, you don't have to go looking for it. You don't have to go to someone to find it. It is here inside of you. And as soon as you recognize that you can tune into your breath and you begin to practice and build your relationship with your breath, whatever you desire to heal, to create, and to transform in your life can be supported with just breathing.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Breanna. And if your nervous system had a reset button, I often like to say, that's what breathing is. It's that reset button. So use it. Use it before the email, before the meeting, before the difficult conversation, and especially before you start to overthink things. And I love this quote: when you can control your breath, nothing or no one can take away your peace. So thank you so much for sharing this time with us today. And we're going to move to some questions.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Rita and Breanne, thank you so much. That I love the experiential component and some beautiful, beautiful information. And it's so true. I think that slide you put up, Breanne, with the live blood cell, that was just so telling. And that was, you said 15 minutes they were doing a specific breathing, and then you retested their blood.
That's
So
right.
that's, I mean, that's it's right there.
Mhm.
So oxygenating the cells, it just, wow, it was like night and day, which goes in line with what you said, Rita. It's not what we eat, but who we eat it with. Right? So it's like all integrated. Oh, that was just spectacular. So thank you, everyone. If you do have any questions for Rita or Brienne, please let us know. And now you were talking about oxygen advantage and
Mhm.
that he was your mentor, right, Rita?
Yes, so
And you
I'm
just
certified under
mentioned
that.
something about taping. Yeah, about taping at night, mouth taping and mouth taping when you're on a plane.
Yes. So have you tried mouth taping?
I'm a mouth taper.
So when I invite my clients to try it, they get all scared and they're like, "But I can't breathe, and you want me to tape my mouth?" And I was like, "No, no, no, not this way, not hostage style. I mean, a little piece of tape just across, and surgical tape is fine, right? Just across your mouth here. You can even leave a little bit actual to so that you can still breathe slightly through the mouth. But what it does is it actually trains your jaw to stay shut. So I've done it for a little bit, and then I felt like, oh, okay, my mouth is not, I'm not waking up with a dry mouth, because that's a telltale, that's a sign telling us that, hey, you've been breathing with your mouth open at night, right? So if you're still waking up with a dry mouth, try mouth taping. But if not, then yes, you can actually stop after you do it for a while.
Oh, beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay,
So yes,
thank
you
you for
don't.
that.
Oh, sorry, you don't need the expensive stuff. You really don't. You
Yeah,
could just
yeah,
use
no
surgical tape.
fancy, don't need all the fancy tapes, just some yeah, blue medical tape that has a nice adhesion to it. It's not too hard, not too soft. Yeah, that works beautifully. Okay, Haley has a question. Breanne, do you want to tell us where you received your breathwork training?
So I did my training through the Pause Breathwork certification as a trauma-informed certification. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. And Rita, your
So
breathwork training?
yes. So I actually have 3 levels because I'm a big breathwork nerd. And I used to be cool, I swear. So I do the functional breathing through oxygen advantage. So that's all the sciencey stuff. And then the experiential is the elemental rhythm. He's actually a fellow from Toronto, and he was one of the very first to train under Wim Hof. And then I sort of shifted a little more on the spiritual side of breathwork. And I'm certified under Dan Brule, which it's Tony Robbins breathwork coach.
Ah, okay. Very good. And
I will
Breanne,
just note on that there are so many different types and styles, and we touched a little bit on it today. But if anyone
mhm.
is interested in getting certified or interested in breathwork at all, find your where you feel called to. Like Rita shared, she's done so many because she's had different interests along the way.
Mhm.
Whatever you feel pulled to, there's probably a reason for that. Um, but there's so many out there. So yeah, find the one that suits you best.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. And just a little bit about when you're in an airplane, wanted to know your perspectives on this in regards to water. So, do you recommend flat water, sparkling water? What impacts CO2 max and also hydration when you're flying? Which, I mean, so many people, you walk through a plane, when everyone is sleeping and you're just, you see all the dragon mouths open, right? And then people just get off the plane and they're just so drained because of all that mouth breathing. So combination of the mouth breathing and then what it is that they're drinking.
I
You want,
love that.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Brian, do you have an answer for that? I mean,
I would
I know,
say
yeah, I know that I actually sometimes I wear a mask. It depends. Like sometimes I am wearing a mask just to make sure that I'm breathing in my own CO2 as well. But I'm not like I actually don't know. No, I'm not sure which water is better.
yeah, that's definitely out of my wheelhouse. I would say that like getting off a plane is never a good feeling. Getting outside into the fresh air as soon as you can, standing under some trees is probably going to be the best bet to just like reset your system, re-oxygenate your body. Um, you could see in the live blood analysis, your system can come back pretty quick. So
Yeah. And
Mhm.
use the
movement.
tool.
Yeah, movement on the plane is actually very recommended as well.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. And then when it comes to physical activity and breath, so
Mm.
sometimes you'll do a yoga class and the instructor will say, try to just only nasal breathe the entire yoga class. Or if you're watching a boxing match and you start to see one boxer using mouth breathing over the nasal breathing, you just right away you'll see a dip in the performance. So if you did you want to address a little bit about physical activity in relation to breath, nasal versus mouth, and how to kind of maximize that?
Sure, I can take that one. Yes. So when it comes to training, so if you're training for a competition or just if you're obviously a performance athlete, try to use the nose as much as possible for sure. But when you're
Mhm.
out there, because I actually train with some professional soccer players, when they're out there on the pitch and they're running for 45 minutes at a time, it's very extremely hard to actually nasal breathe. So the mouth breathing to switching from nasal to mouth breathing is fine. But let's say you're at the gym, definitely when try to nasal breathe as much as possible, for sure, if you're just doing some gym stuff. However, there is a really cool technique you can use, and it's basically holding your breath, let's say while you're squatting, and it'll give you the same effects as a HIIT training in terms of biochemistry, what's going on in your body, which is super amazing without the strain, the strenuous strain on your joints. So you can get that same HIIT, the benefits from a HIIT training by actually just breath holding. So it's that intermittent hypoxia. So holding your breath, holding on to that carbon dioxide.
Mm.
I
But
love
during
that. That is so cool.
yeah, but during strenuous exercise, it's quite
Yeah.
difficult to breathe through the nose. So mouth breathing is allowed. Yeah.
And we touched on it a little bit in the presentation, but just a little bit of like there's never a shame in like, oh, I'm breathing through my mouth, this is bad. Like that's only going to create more activation in our system. We
Mhm.
don't want that. We want to breathe through our nose as much as possible. That's going to be the best way for our bodies to breathe. And if we're in a strenuous situation and we need to mouth breathe, we're getting more air in and out when we breathe through the mouth than when we breathe through the nose. So, like nose breathing, you can't take in as much air as you can through your mouth. So, your body is, if it needs that extra oxygen, it is going to force you to start to breathe through your mouth. So, like,
Mhm.
nose check yes first. And if we need this, that's okay too.
Mhm.
Yeah, excellent point. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Breanna. And yeah, that was fantastic. So also yawning. So is yawning another form of the body having that massive surge of, uptake that the body needs? And is it a sign of low iron in your practices that you have found?
So yawning is one of those phenomena. I think I still
Mm.
believe they don't know why we yawn and why it's so contagious. However,
Yeah.
from my experience and the research that I've come across and my mentors as well, yawning is a sign of parasympathetic activation. So we are relaxing our bodies. So when people yawn in my class, I'm like, that's awesome. I don't get offended. It's all good. So they need to relax, or it helps to relax your body when you're yawning.
Yeah, and just
Mhm.
a second step of that, 100%. If someone's yawning, it's like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I'm like, no, no, no. This is you're getting in there. And
Nice.
I also find two things is that when people yawn, sometimes that can be because their body might not be super balanced with the breath yet, especially if they're yawning a lot, a lot, a lot. And what can help is them to just start to breathe a little more deeply or to sigh out. Sometimes can help to just like bring some expansion into the experience for them. It can be the body's way of like needing a deeper release. The yawn's like, I need a deeper release, and the little bit of a deeper breath can help to support that. And number two, if it's in a breathwork session that someone's yawning, it can be a little bit of a sign of resistance. That's kind of like a little side piece, but their system's just not fully feeling like they can fully drop in just yet. But for the most part, the parasympathetic is where the yawning's at.
Very nice. Thank you. So if someone is experiencing low iron, does breath work help?
Could it? Sure.
Yeah, could it?
Is
Have
that
you ever
is
seen that in your live cell? Like, have you seen, anemic cells that kind of get better over time once you put them on breath work?
just breath work? I've never isolated that as a variable.
Mm.
Could it? Probably. Would I believe
Mhm.
that that would help? 100%. Um,
Mhm.
don't know if I don't have the proof yet to say 100% that can be confirmed. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And then with children, when you see children mouth breathing and you really want to encourage the nasal breathing, you don't want to form a habit, what is the best approach when it comes to children in teaching them to nasal breathe?
Just pinch their lips closed. Just they're sleeping, just go, oop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some clients that are doing mouth breathing, sorry, mouth taping with their children as well, explaining to them what it is, and it's
Yeah.
gotten some really good results.
The other thing too, it would be also like an allergy test for the kids as well. Like, is there a reason, like, is there sinus congestion, things like that, that is blocking their airflow? That would
Mhm.
be another step that I would look at as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, very good. Well, I think that covered so much material. And I think all of us, you have a ton of thank yous. Everyone really enjoyed the talk. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, Breanne and Rita, and being with us here today. Thank you to everyone that attended today. Again, you will be receiving a copy of this amazing workshop that was cultivated today by these two beautiful graduates, Breanne and Rita. And you absolutely reach out to them individually. And I love that you talked about, the individual breathwork session versus a group breathwork session and the benefits of both. So I know there's multiple ways for someone to integrate this form of breath into their life because you're absolutely right when you said that there is anxiety everywhere, right? It's just so rampant, right? We have anxiety, we have stress, and we have depression. And when you look at how someone breathes, it absolutely impacts how they are going to feel in so many multiple ways that you've highlighted today. So I think we're all going to breathe much deeper, more conscious, and really, focus on the nasal breathing, right, which is so important too. And then mouth breathing when it's necessary. So that was great as well, Brienne. So we have this, right? We have this large mouth. We have these nostrils. We need to use them properly. Okay, well, thank you so much. That was absolutely fantastic. Everyone, thank you so much for spending this afternoon with us. And what an absolute joy it was. Thank you, Brienne. Thank you, Rita.
Thank
Blessings to
you.
everyone, and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you. Bye. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.